everybody. Welcome to Talkulture. We are back better than ever. I am Kid Cadet, joined always by my co-hostess with the mostest. It is Miss Sweet Tea, Danica Janelle. How are you?
I'm so excited. It has been so freaking long since we did this, and I'm so excited to be doing this with this guest. Oh my God. Let's do it.
Let's bring him out. Like we said, we've been looking forward to this. We are finally making it happen right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's bring him to the stream at this time. It is Greg Cummins, everybody. Round of applause, golf claps. How's it going?
Yay! Yay! Yeah!
It's just an hour of us celebrating the whole time, just having fun.
Yeah.
How are you, Greg? This is so exciting.
I'm well. I'm very excited to be here. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. It's great to be on your show. I've been looking forward to it. You guys,
Go on.
Oh, you're wonderful. So, all right, let's just start right here. Let's start at the very beginning. So we kind of wanted to know, what were you like growing up? What were you like as a kid? Were you always into the acting thing? Did you always have a passion for it? Or what did you think your ultimate journey and destination would have been?
Oh gosh, well that's a big one. I dreamed of being an athlete, pro athlete. I mean that was my goal ever since I was a kid. I love baseball but in seventh grade, I played Scrooge. I got cast in Scrooge. I think I was 12, and I just took to it, and I loved it. But after that, I couldn't do the drama in high school because the only way I was going to get to college was get an athletic scholarship. So sports, especially baseball and football, and then I ended up getting the scholarship to college in football, and then I took acting classes, and acting. I always knew someday I wanted to get in. I had no idea in Northern California, where I grew up, how to get in and all that, but I just took a lot of theater through a lot of years at college, and a lot of acting, directing, and all that stuff through the drama and theater programs. And when the sports ended for me, about 25 years old professionally, I kicked around. I did some other jobs and I hated it. So I said, I'm going to go back, finish my degree, and go to a graduate master's program in acting and really treat it seriously. And after doing years and years of theater, and I did that, and then started working in theater, and then came back to LA, started working my way up, doing low budget TV and films, and kind of slowly worked my way up first couple of years, but it was always something that I enjoyed and wanted to do, and it wasn't until my mid-20s that I thought, okay, this is I want to make this a career. But I did it for fun before that.
Right. Well, we're certainly glad you made it a career. Now, you did mention the sports thing, and I'm not going to pretend like Danica and I know a lot about the sports. Are you currently following any teams? Like, who are you rooting for, Greg?
Well, I grew up in the East Bay area, so all my teams are Northern California teams. Whatever you grew up with as a child, San Francisco Giants, Oakland A's, Oakland Raiders are now the Las Vegas Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders now.
And Oakland A's now are going to Las Vegas, but they were the teams I grew up with. And then, of course, the Golden State Warriors, they were the basketball team. And so anything Northern California, I root for my alumni. I played for Cal Berkeley, Golden Bears, 74 and 75. So I root for them. And then I played for the University of Hawaii. So I'm a huge University of Hawaii Rainbow Warrior fan. And I love watching sports. I love sports.
Yeah. Florida had a good year between the Heat and the Panthers. And now we just got to get our Dolphins. Maybe we'll repeat. What was it? 77 was the year we were undefeated. Yeah. So let's put it out into the multiverse. Let's go Dolphins.
Long time ago, long before you were born, I was Cal. We played at the University of Florida Gators up in Gainesville. There were about 105,000 people in the stands, and we lost by about 3 or 4 points. But that was quite an experience. Yeah.
How do you like combat nerves being in front of like a stadium with that many people?
Oh, you just focus on what you do. And if anything, I was always what I called a game player. I was always the one in baseball where I wanted to be up with the bottom of the ninth with a run behind with men on second and first and second with 2 outs and be the one to win the game. So, I was a punter for the football team. So for me, it was just focus on what you're doing, and you get tunnel vision when that happens, and you get excited running out and the fans cheering and all that stuff. But when you're playing the game, you're just focused in on what you're doing, and then when you focus, you lock in, and it just pushes everything out. So.
I wonder if is there some sort of correlation, or is there some crossover for you between athletics and theater? What kind of ties those together for you?
It's almost identical. It's a different thing, but it is a lot of people that I know when they did theater. Well, in my early years in theater, when I wasn't secure with my abilities, I'd get really nervous going in front of people on stage or whatever, in front of the acting class or whatever. But once you get to a certain level where you have confidence in what you're doing, which I did with sports all the years from when I grew up, it was just something I was confident in. So then you just think positively, you go out and have fun and just give it your all. It actually becomes more excitement getting in front of people and having people watch than fear. It's just excitement. And so that's the way it was through me with the acting years. After that first 3 or 4 years, 5 years of, getting my feet wet with the acting classes and being on stage. After that, other people I'd be so excited to get on stage. I had no fear whatsoever. But so it does translate. It does translate.
That's awesome.
But you have to play with your mind. You just have to be excited. You can't think about failure, and you have to go out. You just go do your thing, but it is similar. Yeah.
Awesome. So maybe outside of the sports and the acting thing, what are some of like your favorite hobbies when you do have the time that you enjoy?
Oh, well, I used to golf all the time. I love golfing.
Okay.
But the body is pretty beat up after years of car and motorcycle accidents, of 30 years of stunt work. I've been acting 38 years, but I get kind of beat up. So some of the things that I love to do, I just work out and stay in shape, walk, but lightly, and bicycle and do light weights. And as far as hobbies, the golf was my big one. And I do love watching sports on TV, and I'm a big movie buff. I love watching movies. I'm just, but that's it. I don't have anything interesting or special other than that I can think of offhand.
It works for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to track back a little bit to your time studying at Berkeley. So knowing that you did some studying in theater history, like all of us theater majors had to do you have a favorite time period in theater history, or are there particular plays or playwrights that you really grabbed onto beyond Shakespeare?
I think any actor, when you study the classics and you do all that, is Shakespeare is the big thing. I mean, I did all the Greek theater and all the plays, but Shakespeare, Restoration theater, French Restoration, stuff like that. But Shakespeare is really the greatest training ground. I think the Renaissance period, and it's just all the plays are so well written. It's great training for an actor to find the levels, the musicality, the pacing, everything. It's just I really love that period of time.
And
so 2 controversial questions to go along with that.
She's going
first. How do you feel about his contemporaries' works? So people like Marlowe or Ben Jonson or Afrabin. That's the first question.
I love them. Absolutely love all the 20th century and now 21st century. We've got some great playwrights out there, but there's been some great playwrights through Beckett Ibsen and oh my God, I used to love a playwright. He did plays, Terrence McNally. There's just so many great playwrights, and and then Waiting for Godot is probably one of the greatest. We have some amazing playwrights that are out there, and I'm a huge fan. When I got to work with them, I mean, it's like Sam Shepard. When I got to work with him, and he's. He won what was the award? His one play was it Buried Child? But
yes,
yeah,
that would be Buried Child. Yep.
Yeah, I just loved. There's some. I did another play called what the heck was the name? I'm blanking on the name. Okay, I can't remember right now. It comes with
True West. I know he did True West.
Yeah, what was the other play I did of his? I can't remember. I'm just blanking.
True West.
But when I met him, I was very excited because he's just as nice a person and extremely talented and very successful in films too as an actor. Just a great guy. There's just a lot of people. I mean, I did Brecht and I did all those guys, and stuff like that. I didn't agree with Brecht's theories, play, but
that's a whole other conversation.
But yeah.
Well, the other controversial question is, do you what are your feelings about the quote unquote birther theory about did Shakespeare write his plays, or was he real or not?
Yeah, Marlowe, Shakespeare. I don't know. I had a great teacher at Hawaii who was Olivier's understudy for the Royal Shakespeare Company for 15 years, and then he went and came to Hawaii to teach. And so when I was out there, I did, a lot of the mainstay, Orlando and As You Like It, Benedict, Much Ado About Nothing. And then I did King. We did Lion and Winter together. And so he really knew Shakespeare inside and out. And he didn't have any feelings. I don't know if Shakespeare is just something that a lot of people incorporated, but it's hard to imagine because the writing, whether it's the histories, the tragedies, the dramas, and the comedies, they're just they're so well written. I can believe one person did that in the course of his career. I suppose. It's just it's a lot of stuff, but I mean, look at how much Michelangelo, Da Vinci painted. I mean, it's just it's hard to believe one person did all the stuff he did. But it was just amazing, though.
Valid.
Yeah. What about Greg? What about like theater superstitions? Because we know obviously you do a lot of Shakespeare. You've done a lot of Shakespeare. Do you follow any of those? Like you call it the Scottish play. You don't whistle.
I don't. I actually. I don't like to believe in superstitions, but I never fought that one because I have noticed when I did a film or two that it was on some, devil worshiping subjects, and stuff like that. And weird stuff starts to happen. So, but back when I was in theater, I never said, I did that play, and it was really weird when you're doing the incantation around the double. I'm not even going to say it. I'm just troubled. And there's something to that. I don't know what. I mean, I think it was a real witch's incantation or something like that. So but as far as whistling, I don't know if I've ever whistled on stage, so I don't know. But I don't say break a leg. I just knock them on their ass or have fun.
I love that. Knock them on their ass. Yeah. We know you also participated. Ooh, is he gone? Greg,
a video.
Word for out there, Greg. If you can still hear us, Greg.
There we go.
Oh, you go. We lost you for a second.
Your video for a second, but we're good now.
It's live theater, darling. This happens. Wait. Now we can't hear you.
Oh no. Now we've lost your mic. Oh no.
Greg, if you want, the easiest thing to do, sign out and sign back in again. And Danica and I will stall.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba.
Oh, and he's gone.
You're singing telegram.
Yeah. All right. Well, hopefully he shall return. I mean, he is the reason we are all here, and we see you in the comments as well. So we will definitely get to talking about Crate and Barrel and Bosch and all of the things. And
yeah, keep writing in the comments, because then we can bring those things up. If you guys have more questions, feel free to ask them, and then we will throw them at them. Yeah,
not literally, just
not literally.
And now he's just completely gone. He shall be back when this does happen, because once again, we are live and in color. When this happens, typically somebody just has to leave and come back, and things shall reset. So we shall. Oh wait, is he back? Has he returned?
There we go.
Yes.
I had a call come through. I don't know how to shut the calls off when I'm doing a video. So
that happens.
A call came through and it just shut me off for a second. I don't know how.
Well, now we're at the top of Act 2. So
here you go, Marley's back for you.
So I was going to also ask, I know you've participated in other parts of theater as well, from what we read, whether it's stage design, writing, carpentry, makeup. Do you have a favorite out of those things as well?
No, I loved it all. I mean, when I started at Cal, I started taking, a stage carpenter. I did the lights, and then I was a stage manager, and I did set design and in the acting class at the same time, and eventually I started getting more of the roles and working my way up and stuff. And so I just loved all of it. I loved theater. I mean, I just love the magic of theater. And film and TV and stuff, it's different. You don't have that kind of same kind of magic where you've got and then you have the audience come in there and you have that back and forth that's just real time. But I loved it. I just love theater. And later on, when I decided to move into TV and film, I was working at PCPA, Pacific Conservatory of Performing Arts up in
I know
Solvang.
a few people that have worked there.
Yeah, had an outdoor theater in Santa Maria. We did Hamlet and Amadeus rotating. But that was the last professional theater job that I did. I realized, though, that in all the, Denver Theater Center and the theaters around the country, that 3/4 of the plays that put up, even at Ashland or the Old Globe in San Diego, are musicals. And I figured if I wanted to work professionally, make a living year round, I can sing, but I'm not a great singer, and they're going to pick that great singer first for the musicals, and that's when I went back to TV and film. So, and TV and film is kind of magic in its own way. It's just different kind of work, but so it's the same kind of work, but you don't have that kind of magic there that happens in theater, where every night is a different night. It's the audience and stuff like that, but
right.
It's got other stuff that's really cool. You don't have to pretend as much. You can, in theater, you do certain things, but then you have to imagine. And people in TV and film, you do stuff like you do fight scenes. You actually shoot real guns. It's kind of cool. So yeah,
for sure.
Well, we're going to pivot just a little bit because we want to ask you what it's been like being on the picket line for the writer's strike.
Oh, well, you know what? We need to get some adjustments there. I'm a big union guy. I'm a pro-capitalist guy too. But I'm strong pro-union as well. I think we need both. So
definitely.
I don't want to say anything too negative, because the actors are very close to potentially going on strike here in the next couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've needed to renegotiate some things for the regular blue collar actor, which is where I am. The model has changed in terms of how they pay residual for reruns and everything. Everything's streaming now, and they're not really compensating for. Well, it's different. It's a different model. They had everything figured out for when something was made for film, and then it goes to TV, and then it goes to cable, and then it goes to video or DVD or whatever. And now we've got streaming, and it really hasn't been addressed. And so, yep. So, I'm supportive of big time union supporter. Without the union, I wouldn't have been able to make a living all these years, 38 years now. And that was my goal, was to make a living as an actor. It wasn't about becoming really famous or rich, which, all that would be nice, I guess. But again, my goal, I did this because I wanted to do something I loved for a living. And if I could make a living at it, then I always counted myself as very blessed. And
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, to pivot again, because that is apparently what we do here. I kind of wanted to start by asking about Batman Returns. Classic, iconic, love it. And Danny DeVito was in that one as well, correct? So was there any crossover with him in that film before getting to work on Always Sunny?
No, I was sitting, I played one of the acrobat clowns. It was just like a 2-line role. They brought me on for but I was there at work for 13 weeks, and it was a really neat experience. The guy who brought me on the film, but Danny, I didn't know him before that, and he probably didn't remember me from the film, but when I sat right next to him every day when he had 4 hours of makeup to get into that costume. Now I had about an hour and a half of makeup to get into my wardrobe and makeup. So I sat next to him, about a third to a half of his makeup every day on the set, and he would be in there, and I'd be right in the chair next to him. So when I did work with him on Sunny, I brought that up. I said, I was the acrobat clown sitting next to you when you would get your makeup started every day. And he went, oh, okay. But he's just a nice guy. But there was no, my Sunny job, I had an audition with them, and he had been, I guess, part of the show that second season. But it was really the guys, Rob and Glenn and Charlie that looked at the audition and decided to cast me in the role. So I didn't meet him until until the second time I worked, the following season. But yeah. So
what was that audition like for you? What did they have you do?
Oh, probably the scene I did where they were meeting me in the prison for the first time. And what do you know about smuggling heroin through your anus scene? Do not come back here without anything up those asses. And but when I read it, they told me later that I was the only one that didn't actually try to be funny. But what I did is I played it just really honest, really serious, and badass and dangerous, but I didn't try to be funny. I figured the humor would come out of me being real and badass and whatever, and a little intimidating, and let them play off of it. And that's where the humor would come from. And it turned out that's the way I kind of chose to do it in the audition. And I guess they liked it. So they told me later that that's really why they cast me, is that I was the only one that actually, it made it funnier with me trying not to be funny, and to play it just really, the more dangerous I played it, the more intimidating I played it. And then just, and then being very serious, asking them, to do me a favor, and that kind of thing. And I got into that thing like that. And, what do you know about smuggling heroin through your anus? And they're just kind of, and that's where the humor is. It's real. I'm not trying to be funny, And,
it's amazing that's how so much comedy happens, that you have to be honest in order to make it funny. If you play the comedy, it's not going to be funny. And I try to get that through to students a lot. And
anybody with a good eye can see when you're acting and you're doing it and you're thinking it's funny while you're doing it. I mean, there are a few things where it works, like Carol Burnett's show or things like that, where people are cracking up and it's, high farcical comedy and everybody's in on the joke and you're in on the joke and all that. But in most things, the humor comes out of just people. Maybe it's a heightened intensity, or a lower intensity than normal, where you choose to make the circumstances of your objective higher. So, but if it doesn't come from a real place, it's just a bunch of people acting like, where you can see they're trying to be funny and it's just not funny. So it's good when it comes out of a reality based. It really has to, and let the situation determine the humor, but also when you just
did those lines, I just saw you switch into the character.
yeah.
And that was
magic.
I'm like,
so magic.
Yes, whatever you say. Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, I love doing it. But yeah, I just did a little thing. It's just change it up a little bit, and then I'm thinking, what do I'm going to kill this guy, whatever. And I'm just badass. And then I want something from you, so I just change it a little bit. So I can change the voice a little bit, and I can change the thing, but it's just working different things in your head to make it, so it's still believable, and it's not just somebody lowering their voice and that kind of thing. But
and that intensity is so intense. I love it.
So out of curiosity, because obviously the character has tattoos, do you have any tattoos, Greg?
No,
not for you. Okay.
No, I don't. A lot of fans, they get upset when I say it, but no. Dad was a military guy, and he said the officers, he graduated from Annapolis, the officers do not get tattoos. But I just never had the desire to do it. But
that's okay.
Yeah.
No. Danica and I have enough for the three of us. So
there you go.
You know what I mean?
My niece Sarah, if she's watching, Sarah has a lot of tattoos, and she's beautiful, and I love her very, very much.
Oh,
emotional. So obviously the episode Mac finds his pride, absolutely iconic, and then Luther's reaction to Mac's dance. What was kind of like going through your mind watching that scene play out? Because obviously very different than anything else on the show. It was never seen before. It hasn't been done again. So what was that moment like playing out for you?
Well, I'll tell you what that was like. They showed it a few times to the prisoners as we were all sitting there watching. They had done it already, and they showed it on a big screen, the dance sequence. Brought a tear to my eye, okay, when the camera wasn't on me. They just wanted to show it to us the first time with the camera off. I begged them. I begged Charlie, who was Charlie and Rob were there that day, and they were kind of both directing, watching everything going on. And I said, "Oh, come on, guys. You're going to make me, after what he just did, you're going to make me get up and walk out on him in the middle of it and act like a jerk and still not accept him." And they said, "Yeah, we can't have you accepting him. He has to find himself without his dad's approval." And I went, "Oh, geez," because I was really touched by it. It was really, it was amazing. And everybody, we had all these guys, the prisoners and all that stuff, who were extras and stuff like that. But the whole room was just, when the heartbeat goes down, dun, 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 and it almost goes to stopping, and Dad leaves, and then all of a sudden, dun, 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 and he started coming alive again and dancing, and it was just like it was really touching. So it was really hard for me to, but that's acting. I still had to, be disgusted at my son up there embarrassing me, and get out of there and walk out on him. But it wasn't easy. I appreciated the whole sequence. It was really a touching show. I thought it was wonderful. I just had to be the bad guy.
Mm-hmm. Someone has to do it.
That's right.
Danica?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. That being then, I have to agree with Jude. The fact that scene was not nominated for a major award is absolutely criminal. Highly agree.
Yes.
But so, of course, you also then took on the role of Donald, who seems to be apparently a much better father type.
Yeah.
So what's it like going from the one extreme character of Luther going into Donald, and especially being on the same show? Like, what's that transition like for you?
Oh, it's easy. It's fine. They originally wanted to be Donald's twin brother, but they called me 10 days before we were going to shoot the scene. And I go, "Oh my God, I had surgery. I gained like 45 pounds. So I'm about 20 pounds more than I am now. And I just was so fat, and I wanted it to look exactly like Luther, shaved with no tattoos. And I think that's what but you know, I was overweight. But it's not hard changing up because Luther's a character. Luther is a very teensy part of me, you know, and so I just kind of grabbed another part of me, which is more of Greg. But I wanted to play him a little more, very, very sensitive, you know, maybe a little more, you know, a little more, you know, effeminate, you know, and but then we toned it down a little bit because he didn't want to make it seem like he was not liking me. Mac was not liking me because I was too effeminate. So, but there is in the script, you know, where I am very much like maybe Mac was. I was sensitive or whatever, and so I played him, and I just kind of did myself, and I just played him just like I'm kind of doing now, where I just, you know, I'm just a sensitive guy, and I know sensitive guys, you know, that are not. You don't have to be big and macho all the time. I know people that are very sensitive, and they're guys. So I just played him like me, but extremely sensitive, and so I just started talking like this, and it just came out of me, and you know, Mac, and you know, we could do this, and and you know, and I could do this. Oh, I made peas, you know. And it just,
I just want to make note of that little vocal change because it seems so. I mean, obviously it's very natural, but it also seems like it's just such a small adjustment, but it makes such a huge difference between those characters.
Yeah.
It is. You know, I have an old story where when I was in graduate school, they never let me play the gregarious macho leading man because I was kind of like that already. So they always made me play the character roles. So after exploring all the different sides of myself for years, I had an audition years ago for a film. It was a low budget film before I got in the union. And they messed the slate up. And I read for the lead bad guy. It was called Dead End City. And I read for the lead bad guy. And I slicked my hair back and had about 5 or 6 days beard growth. And, you know, so I was looking really ratty. And then, you know, so the character was, you know, dangerous. And, you know, so I kind of slowed my movements down. I talked a little lower register. When you expect me to get mad, I wouldn't get mad. I give a little smile, a little wink, you know. And then when you didn't expect me to blow, then I'd blow like that, and I'd put people back in their chairs, just scared the crap out of them. So you know, I played for the lead bad guy, and then I blow dried my hair, got some sun, shaved my beard, went back and had a little more of my personality, where I played the gregarious leading man, you know, kind of the Harrison Ford, Mel Gibson, whatever leading man kind of thing. Talked more like this, and I was tough and rugged, whatever. But I just let another side of my personality come out. They mixed the slates up, and the first call I got was for me. They said, "Hey, we cast you as the lead bad guy for Dead End City," and I go, "Okay, that's great, thank you." Okay, and about an hour later, I get a call, and they say, "Well, we cast you as the leading man for the same film." They called me for both roles. They messed the name on the slates up, but they had my phone number, and they thought it was 2 different people, but they were both me.
You were such a chameleon.
Yeah. So, but it's just, you know, it's just, so I kind of, you know, when I change what I'm thinking about, what my objectives are, my movements, you know, a lot of that too came from external. When I did the theater and the Shakespeare and the stuff, you find your character outside in, and then through the lines and the dialogue, it just kind of comes, and you change your movements and movement classes and stuff. So you change the way you walk, you just change yourself up. You find different aspects to create different characters, and you know, part of it is movements, part of it is vocally, a lot of it is mental thought, you know, of who you are, what your character is, and what you're trying to do, and then making choices of which part of yourself you're gonna leave out, and which part of yourself you're gonna cut in, and so it's just something that I've always I learned to do over time, you know, to become chameleon-like. And
it's very impressive.
Yeah, it is.
so, I feel like so playing Donald and Luther, back to that, I wanted to even take it farther with the sensitivity, but we kind of found a middle ground where. But next time, if they have me back as Donald, I'm going to have my weight down, so at least I'll look a little more like Luther. Because some people just didn't even think it was the same person, and part of it was the weight too. But I know without the weight, I still would have had them thinking it was somebody else because I changed a lot of things up. So it, and a lot of people in real life who haven't been acting, they don't think people can change up like that as much,
Right.
But
now, I have to wonder, Greg, do you think maybe there's like a triplet somewhere around there? Maybe there's another brother somewhere we haven't seen just yet? Can you imagine?
Oh yeah, wouldn't that be nice? What I'd love to do, and I threw it out there, but who knows? I just love to see if I get the weight right. Then I'd love to see Luther and Donald McDonald and Luther in the same scene talking to each other. Where I could do one and do the other and be in the same episode. But
I agree with Merle said. I'd like to see Luther out of jail visiting Uncle Donald.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Have a family gathering with everybody at the table.
Yes.
But I love these. Like when Eddie Murphy did like 8 or 10 or 12 different roles in a movie. I'd love to do something like that because and then you start to throw in accents and things like that, and I can do a lot of it'd be fun to play a lot of different characters in one thing.
Definitely.
That's what I've done in my career. It's why for years until I had these running roles playing bad guys for years before all this Bosch and Bosch Legacy and It's Always Sunny. I was just a chameleon kind of jumping from role to role. So nobody really know. They'd see me one thing and they'd see me another thing and they wouldn't, always know it's the same person. So I was kind of working anonymously for years. The casting directors knew who I was, but I was a little more anonymous to people that out in the world.
Do you have a favorite accent?
Oh, no, not really. They're all fun. They're all fun.
Cool.
I don't have a favorite. No.
Okay. Well, also, Bob is saying hello from Karen and Bob back in Delaware.
Oh, no way. All right. I got my cousin Bob and cousin Karen calling. Oh, okay. It's a family show. Hi, guys.
Yay! We love it.
Hello.
Thank you for supporting him here.
Yes.
So, Greg, let's talk Bosch a little bit. There's a couple questions. Bosch. A couple questions have come down the pipeline here. So the first one is, do you still hold a grudge against the DA for forcing Bosch to loosen the cuffs on Waits?
Oh, no. I was the one who looked like an idiot. My character, I had to fiddle with the whole thing, the cuffs, and let him grab my gun. I felt like just a total fool. But when a cop, I've talked to a lot of police officers. When somebody takes your gun, it's a very embarrassing situation. It's not good. So I had to look like a dummy on that one. But no, I do not. I should have been able to take care of myself on that one, but that wasn't what they wrote in the script. So
that's fair. That's fair.
Well, kind of in that vein of writing, then Larry, I was asking, what was the audition like, and especially creating characters that weren't in the books, but make them seem like they belonged all along.
Oh, for the audition for Bosch. Oh, that's an interesting question. I had 3 lines, and it was a scene that we did in the first episode where we just were going to get the Laker Celtics tickets. And there really wasn't much. And so I went in, I didn't know they wanted any humor or anything like that. And I just went in as a regular cop. And I just figured my motivation was I wanted the Lakers tickets. And my partner here, who wasn't there for the audition, I didn't know who it would be, the wonderful Troy Evans, who ended up being my partner all these years, and what a blessing that was, and still is if we continue to work. But so I just, you know, when you have a motivation, you just kind of keep going with it. And there are only 3 lines. And I just kind of said, you know, the Lakers Celtics tickets and whatever. And then he grabs it in the scene away from me. And I go, oh, you know, he's going, well, I don't, we might not want to do this. And I want to go to the Lakers Celtics game. So they pulled the tickets back. And you know, my last line was, give me the tickets, you know, give me the tickets. And then the casting director went scene, and Michael Conley's there, and Eric Overmeyer's there, a writer, both writers for the show, and the producer was there, and they, you know, scene, and it was just 3 lines, and I said, give me the tickets. They give me the tickets, and I'm not going to listen to the scene, so I just said, no. I said, no, we're not cutting. I said, well, give me the tickets. I said, well, I didn't come here just to audition for a stupid show. I said, give me the tickets. Are you telling me you don't have the tickets? You know, you don't. You mean there are no tickets for the Lakers Celtics game? And I go, I just walked out going, great, you know, great, fine, wonderful. And then I kind of gave him a little wink, letting him know I was joking. But they were cracking up, and I didn't, you know, I just went with the motivation, which was I wanted the tickets, you know, and you know, I kind of played him, you know, a little macho, a little tough in the beginning, but you know, got the Lakers tickets. You know, I want the Lakers. Give me the ticket. What you know, give it. And I just kind of kept going with it, and turned out that was just that little bit of humor coming out of reality that they added with Troy and I, and they felt that would be a good compliment to Troy, you know, where I could be honest and real and macho or whatever, but I also had a little bit of sense of humor, you know.
Perfect.
And I was able to bring it out in the audition. So, and I was just very lucky they cast me. What a blessing that was.
Oh man. So we'll do one more question and then we're going to go to our game, Greg. So Jude's question is, being a stuntman, what is one of the toughest stunts that you've done for a film? And has there been a stunt that you've refused to do?
Oh, wow. Okay, there's my memory. Well, basically, all the early years, you know, they don't have the money for the stuntman for you. And I did all these. He was the lead bad guy, lead good guy in the action films. So everything that we had to do, whether it was a fight scene, falling through a window, crashing through a window, falling through a ceiling window. I did one time down on the box. You know, you jump from car into a truck bed, you're fighting, you're going through the back windows of cars. I got to do all my stunt driving, you know, a lot of driving through big balls of fire. And they just say, hold your breath. Don't breathe in. And I was athletic. I was an athlete. So I enjoyed doing all that stuff. As I got older, it became a little more difficult and a little more painful. The occasional broken nose from a leg kick or something like that. But it's also, too, you're not just doing it one time. You're doing it like you could have one fight scene that lasts like 30 seconds or a minute. And you're shooting all day and you're doing it all day from different angles. So it's exhausting. And you're doing it a lot of times over and over and over and over again. So I forget to, so this, I guess, you know, the stunt. Yeah, no, there's 2 types of stunts. I would not, I've done where I had fire on part of me, but I would never do a full fire burn. I didn't want to do that. I just said, nope, I don't want to do that. And I don't like, you know, any falls other than, you know, higher than 3 stories, maybe 4. Well, I could do a 5 or 6 story if I wanted to, but why do it now? But in the old days, you know, I'm not going to do that stuff. That's for the guys who are specialists, who used to be divers, and they can control their body in the air and not kill themselves, you know, coming down and hitting but pretty much everything else. I used to do my own car crashes, you know, all this stuff, you know, just, but I didn't, one of the guys for Cliffhanger, Joel Silver, was the stunt coordinator, and he saw what I did in Cliffhanger, and he said, you know, anytime you want to, if you want me to call you, I got lots of work for you. You can double a lot of people. And I said, no, that's okay. I do enough for the characters if I have a character, then I'll do the stunt for my character. But you know, but I don't want to go to the set every single day and kill my body. I'm you know, but so, you know, I don't know if there's a stunt that I did that was worse than others. No, any stunt that I did, I agreed to do. I felt capable of doing it. So it's just, throwing windows, just no, just no high falls and no full fire burns. That's all.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
We promise we won't make you do those.
And
Yeah.
now that I'm older, I'm going, okay, bring on the stuntman. I'm fine with it. I have no machismo thing.
Come on.
I could do that. I could do everything when I was younger, and now I hit a point where, no, you just bring them on. Hey, earn your money, do your thing,
work smarter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
They've still got other tendons in place, probably.
Yeah, I'm beat up. Yeah.
Well,
I don't have that macho thing anymore where I've got to do everything anymore. Yeah.
Good.
I just, my job is just to be incredibly good looking, and they can do all that stuff.
And you're doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I know.
That's all you got to worry about.
I know. Thank you. That's why I have no acting ability whatsoever.
We won't tell anybody.
38 years of working on my incredibly good looks, and I'm good with that.
Preach. Amen.
Hallelujah.
We're right there with you.
Yeah.
So, Greg, we have a game we're going to play. This is a game of Would You Rather. There is no wrong answers, and whatever you pick is the correct answer. So we're going to bring up our graphic, and Danica is going to get this game started. So, Miss D.
Would you rather? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So go ahead, Danica.
Yes, you can explain as much or as little as you'd like. So, would you rather be in a production of Hamlet with Rob and you would be playing, if Rob is playing Hamlet, that you would be playing his dad, so ghost Hamlet dad?
Mm-hmm.
Or would you rather be in Henry V opposite Danny DeVito as the Dauphin?
Well, why do I have to choose one? I want to do both.
Let's do both then.
That's no fair.
Let's do both.
Well,
I'll direct him. It's fine. We'll do both.
I want to do both. I have to pick one or the other.
No, we can give you a mulligan. You can do both.
Yeah, this is I'd love to do both. I mean, I'd say Henry V just because it's a better role. But how could I wouldn't turn either down. I'd want to do both of them.
Okay.
And I
Done.
would happily watch both of those.
Okay. So, all right. So far, so good. All right. Here's the next one. Would you rather wear a vampire prosthetic once a week or dress like the acrobatic clown thug once a week? Oh,
well, I think the makeup for the is easier for the clown thug once a week.
Okay.
That's spent a lot more time to put that, but it's fun to get in that makeup, though. I got to tell you, but it is a pain in the butt if I were to do it every day. Once a week, still though, that's a pain. So I pick the acrobat clown.
Okay, great choice. Amazing choice. Okay, see, we made a choice. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Monica, you got the next one.
All right. Would you rather play all of your future roles based on Commedia's Pantalone?
Yes.
Or play all of your future roles based on Dottore?
Interesting. I played Pantalone in Commedia, and I would say Pantalone. Yes.
Oh, you want to be a lecherous old man? Got it.
Yes. That was fun.
Okay. Great.
Yes.
We're doing good here. Okay.
Yes. I love
Here's the next one. Would you rather, Greg, go back in time, have a conversation with James Dean, or go back in time and have a conversation with Marlon Brando?
Oh, this is tough. I would say Marlon, but I do love James Dean, but Marlon's the man. So absolutely, Marlon Brando. Yeah.
Great choice. Okay, let's keep them going.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one. Would you rather perform, also going back in time, perform in a production opposite Laurence Olivier or in a production with Ethel Merman?
Well, with all apologies to Ethel Merman, I can't hold my own with her singing wise. She was an incredible singer, but my God, Olivier, are you kidding? I actually got to work with his protege for years as a director and an actor. So
incredible.
I felt like I was working with Olivier. So if I had worked with the great Laurence Olivier, hands down. In fact, that's probably the person I'd want to work with most ever of all time.
Amazing. Ah, love. Okay. We got 2 more of these. Here we go. Would you rather travel 100 years into the past or travel 100 years into the future?
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, if there is a future, a lot of people think the past was better. It wasn't. There wasn't air conditioning. There wasn't, a lot of stuff that
Indoor
we have
plumbing.
now.
Yeah.
We have indoor toilets now.
Right.
There's things, a lot of things weren't good. Future, absolutely. I would like to see what's happening in the future.
Okay. All
I
right.
like that. That's solid. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Is this our last one? Oh
Yeah.
my.
Take it home, girl.
All right. Would you rather go on a cross-country road trip with Luther or go on a cross-country road trip with Donald?
Well, I played bad all of the years. 30 years I played bad guys. I looked a lot like Luther in real life because I had to look that way all the time. So, definitely Luther. I'm sorry, Donald, but Luther, I got pulled over by cops from every state in this country almost, driving around looking the way I did. Everybody thought I was a white trash, redneck, drug dealer, whatever, God knows what. I had to look like that all the time. It probably hurt my personal life too, I'm sure, through the years. So Luther, come on, Luther, absolutely. I would not only do it with Luther, I would like to look like Luther and travel across the country because I have.
There we go.
To me, I feel like Donald would be the type that would stop at all the roadside attractions, maybe like the biggest ball of yarn or twine.
Yeah,
or
the giant rocking chair. Yeah. Just make a lot of superfluous stops.
Yeah.
Donald is a nice guy, so he would just be nice to everybody, and that's all great, honestly, it's the nicer part of me, Donald, but Luther is it's
a fun guy.
He definitely Donald's got a lot of nice stuff. He's a nice guy. He's just got to lose some weight, and he's gonna the next time he shows up if they call me back again. So I might change that, but no, Luther, come on, Luther.
Okay. Luther it is. Luther is correct. You got them all right. Way to go, Greg.
I got them all right.
Yes, you
We're real proud.
Yes. This has been so much fun. You are such a joy. Before we do Bob was saying, I wonder how long it would take to tell everyone how good looking you are.
Oh, well, I already said it, Bob.
Bob.
And I really don't need to talk about it like I usually do in real life because everybody can see.
We have the visual.
Obvious. It's obvious to everybody. I'm not one to toot my own horn, except I kind of am. But that's
and he's humble too.
My theory is, if you tell everybody how good looking you are all the time, eventually it just ingrains in their subconscious. And then they start kind of saying it back to you, like, "Hi, Mr. Good Looking. Hey, you're good looking today." And then I don't have to say it anymore. So
I like that.
That's kind of what I do. I'm in my own little dream world, and I like it there.
Hey,
I love it.
Good looking.
I love it.
What you got cooking?
Right. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful to me. And while we're on that subject, I'm going to
gorgeous.
I love you. I love you. I just, yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
You are such a delight. This has been so much fun.
Thank you so much.
Before we release you back into the real world, or maybe 100 years into the future, can you any final thoughts you want to leave us with here today?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, ladies. I really enjoyed it. You guys are wonderful. I think you're just super talented. And
thank you.
I wanted to say to everyone out there, I have a final thought. I just there's a lot of craziness in this world. There's a lot of people doing bad things, a lot of stuff going on. It's crazy. It's dangerous. Just everyone, just do the best you can to be a good person and to do good, to be a giving person, to make the world a better place in whatever way you can, in whatever small way. It doesn't matter. Just make the world a better place, and that's really all I want to say about that.
Well,
Couldn't agree
awesome.
more.
And we just have to make sure with our producer that we got the soundbite where he was saying how wonderful we are. We just need to make sure we got that clip. We got it. We're good. Awesome. Greg, thank you so much. We absolutely adore you. You are our chameleon. And hopefully we get to do this again soon.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
Yay. Well, for everyone watching, have a wonderful rest of your day. And we'll see you guys real soon. Au revoir. Bye.
Ciao.